Last month, I posted a video in which I answered the top 10 questions I get asked on a regular basis. But apparently, 10 wasn't enough to answer all your questions. That's why I've decided to begin this segment, Ask Brother Casey. Each week, I'll be answering one question submitted by you, the viewer. And since I'll be returning to school this week, what better way to start than with that? Seminary. How much longer do I have to go to school until I can become a priest? Any man who wants to be ordained a priest in the Catholic Church has to go to a school called a seminary. And a seminary is basically just a graduate school designed to prepare people for ministry. It can be a part of a larger school with lay students and other programs like Boston College or the Catholic University of America, or it could be a school specifically designed for priests like Mundelein in Chicago or Mount St. Mary's in Maryland. But really, the school itself doesn't matter as much because the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops has set up a program for priestly formation. So what does that mean? Well, it means we have to have at least 1 year of philosophy, maybe 2, and 4 years of theology. So those doing math at home, that's about 150 credits on top of an undergraduate degree. You might be thinking to yourself, why so many credits? Why does it take so long? And that is an excellent question, because there are many days that I wake up and ask the same thing. Why does it take so long? And really, there are two great reasons. The one's a very practical one. As priests, we'll be shepherding the flock. We'll be leading God's people in the ultimate questions. Who is God? What is the meaning of life? These aren't easy questions, and people bring great difficulties. In that way, it's important that we get all that the church has to offer. We may not be experts about anything, but we should be knowledgeable about everything, just a little bit, so that we may not be able to give the answer all the time, but we're able to lead people where they need to go. In a way, though, the spiritual component is a much bigger reason. And I look at a professor I have that always says, you can't give what you don't have. In that way, seminary is about training us to be Christians, that we may follow Christ and that we may know all that the church has to offer in the most perfect way that we may lead others. It starts with that, though. It starts with being challenged, with being overwhelmed in some ways. And you think, well, why be overwhelmed? Well, God is overwhelming. These are not simple questions. And so we need to go to school for 5 or 6 years. We need to be asked difficult questions. We need to be challenged beyond our limits so that we can know God's limits, so that we can know what God is calling us to do and that we may lead others. And so in that way, it's a lot. I've got about 3 more years before I'll be ordained. But when I remember what it's for, that it's for God and for God's people, it's always worthwhile. And that's what keeps me going. If you have a question, leave it here in the comments. Each week, I'll be selecting one question to answer here on Ask Brother Casey. Because of that, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking here and check back each week for the new question. Also, be sure to subscribe to the blog, breakinginthehabit.org, and follow me now on Facebook, a new page just created.